Gepard Landau, the current captain of the Silvermane Guard. Duty-bound to uphold law and order, he uses his strength to protect the people of Jarilo-6 from the monsters formed by the Fragmentum. Off the clock though, he can be a huge dork. He's charmingly inept at anything that isn't combat related. He's even willing to admit his own faults, such as when he brings up his interest in gardening.
I grow flowers. It's just that I'm not very good at it.
He also isn't well versed in music. We see in one of his idol animations him trying to hum one of Serval's songs. Funnily enough, the same one she hums in one of her idols, but he's off tune with it. He then gets embarrassed and face palms when he catches himself doing it. Those faults serve as a nice contrast to their no-nonsense demeanor he carries as the captain. His character arc during the story of Belobog is one common to paladin-type characters. When we first meet him, he attacks us due to suspecting we're affiliated with Sampo. After clearing things up with him, he apologizes and acts much more friendly. However, as soon as Cocolia puts bounties on our heads, Gepard just as quickly switches back to condemning and suspecting us. All this is meant to demonstrate he is highly loyal to the Supreme Guardian and almost instinctively puts a ton of stock in her word. However, Serval helps the gang reach Gepard and make him acknowledge the truth of the situation, that Cocolia is the villain. When he learns that Bronya is on their side, he finally relents and steps out of the way, finally placing his trust in us. We then get this bit of dialogue that serves to summarize his character development.
For the Silvermane Guards, the Guardian's orders are paramount and absolute. But there is something of equal importance in the oath we take.
The people of Belobog.
If we lose the people, we lose the reason for our existence. Our fight with the Fragmentum monsters is for the sake of preservation. But our fight with you? I fail to see the purpose.
After Cocolia is defeated and Bronya becomes the new Supreme Guardian, we see Gepard and the Silvermane Guard try to defend Boulder Town from Topaz's forces. After the lockdown was lifted, Gepard's duty as captain meant protecting the underworld as much as the overworld. It's an understated moment that shows that he now recognizes the underworld folks as people he must safeguard. His character stories go a bit deeper into his conflict of following the law to the letter while also wanting to do good. In his first character story, it's established that when he was promoted to captain, he originally maintained his position as the rear guard. However, Cocolia suddenly moved him to the front lines. He briefly wondered why she made that decision, but pushed the question aside to focus on the matters right in front of him. In a position as high as his, he served as a role model for all of Belobog, one that couldn't show weakness. His second story has him return from a battle with the few other soldiers who survived. At the award ceremony, he was given the decorated gauntlet he wears on his right arm. How many of his comrades' lives have been exchanged for such a glorious medal? He forces himself not to think about it. For now, he can only meet the expectations of the Supreme Guardian and all of Belobog with a smile, because this is what a loyal soldier must do. A role as important as the Silvermane Guard captain was a heavy weight on his heart. He couldn't afford to display grief or anxiety, otherwise it would look bad on the architects as a whole. In his third character story, he has a conversation with Serval that carries the same moral as the dialogue from the main story scene I played earlier. Serval asks Gepard what he would do if Cocolia ordered him to turn against the people of Belobog. After initially dismissing the question under the belief Cocolia would never do such a thing, he ultimately stated that he would choose to protect the people in a heartbeat. A statement he does follow through on in the main story. His fourth story then further emphasizes this aspect of his character. Once again, he dismisses his inquisitive thoughts on Cocolia's behavior, but before going into battle, he wonders what he should think about all the soldiers potentially charging right towards their deaths. And just as a quick aside that will wrap back around to this story, during the War Dance event, Gepard gives Luka a piece of advice.
From my experience, a person's inner voices make far too much noise, especially so during safe and quiet moments. Ironically, the voices that truly matter often become audible only in moments of pain, discomfort, and peril.
I think it's the inner voice that truly matters that Gepard hears during his final character story. Remember, Gepard Landau, you will defend Belobog and her people at any cost. You will not let down the people you're supposed to protect. Never bring the Landau name into shame. This time, the young captain finally finds his answer as he strides out toward the battlefield. Gepard is dedicated to protecting the people of Jarilo-6, not just the innocent civilians, but also his fellow soldiers. he'll do what he must to make sure he and as many of his comrades as possible return alive and well. Gepard is the Russian word for cheetah, going in line with the feline motif of the Landau siblings' names. Now, this could be just an ironic name. Cheetahs are one of the fastest land creatures out there, yet Gepard takes the role of a slow tank. In some cultures, though, cheetahs serve as a symbol for protection, fitting Gepard's role as the steel wall of Belobog. His name could also be a reference to the Flankpanzer Gepard, a popular anti-aircraft tank model developed in the 1960s. Since I already mentioned Gepard is meant to be the team's tank, this may not be a coincidence. But on the topic of names, I want to touch on how he connects to the Landau family. I waited until now to bring it up, but all three siblings serve as different stances on lineage. Serval cuts herself off completely from her family, aside from her siblings, to pursue what she's passionate about. Lynx is in the middle. She accepts the family she comes from, but still wants to walk her own path. Gepard is on the totally opposite side of the spectrum to his older sister, embracing the traditions of his noble family and upholding their name as the Silvermane Guard's captain. The way he acts is the very definition of noble. In fact, this becomes a bit of an insecurity for him, as he worries he's sounding too much like their father when reprimanding Serval during their companion mission. But despite them being total opposites of embracing and rejecting their family values, they still get along. Gepard's shield, which is called Earthwork, is confirmed to have been made by his sister out of an instrument case. I touched on this in Serval's video, and it's crazy I'm about to defend a character I don't even care about that much, but it's insane to me that people consider his actions here as guilt-tripping Serval. The people who have this take, please read through the quest again. He makes it crystal clear that he would be totally fine with Serval going on board the Astral Express so long as she was doing it because she genuinely wanted to, and not as an excuse to run away from her troubles. Bro just wanted to make sure his sister would be mentally healthy, and y'all call that gaslighting. You can't win with this fucking fan base, man. To be honest with you, I'm rather indifferent to Gepard. For me personally, he feels a little bland. There isn't enough to really set him apart from the general archetype he comes from. But I can see why he's likable. I totally understand why he'd be someone's favorite HSR character, even if he isn't mine. That's the fun of this project, of covering every single HSR character. Even if I'm still not a big fan of Gepard, I gained a better appreciation for his character through writing this analysis of him. Thank you for watching this video. This is one part of a series of analysis videos on Honkai Star Rail's cast of characters. If you want to see me analyze more characters from HSR, please subscribe to the channel so we can hit our goal of 2,000 subscribers this year. Subscribing is totally free, you can unsub at any time, and it will make me smile. Also, like this video to let me know if I did a good job. As a smaller content creator on the platform, and get you in my videos really, truly helps me out. Thank you once again for watching, have a great rest of your day, and until we meet again, take care.